Hey guys, today we are painting a scene that holds a very special place in my heart. A moment that I captured on my trek to Mardi. The first rays of the sun breaking over the horizon, the crisp morning air, and the magical stillness of dawn. This was one of those moments that you just don't forget. And today we are bringing it to life on canvas. So come along and paint with me. The reference for this painting comes from a photograph I took during the trek. It was dawn and the very first light of the day was slowly spreading across the sky. Most of the stars that had guided us through the early hours had faded away, except for one, the lone morning star, still shining as if it did not want to leave. We had given rest to our trekking sticks just right in front of the magical view. These sticks kept us steady on the icy dew-covered trails. This painting is my way of preserving that experience, the beauty, the struggle, and the sense of accomplishment, all in one frame. And now starting with the painting, as you have already seen, I am using acrylic paints for this piece. I love how versatile they are, perfect for layering and capturing depth. I started first with the deep blue sky, slowly blending with the perfect gradient of orange sun. The sky was my favorite part to work on. Blending these colors was a challenge because acrylics dry fast and I had to work quickly to get that seamless effect. In the process, I kept cleaning my brush and coming back to create the seamless blend. I wanted the sky to feel vast yet intimate, like that moment when you stand still and just take everything in. Then comes the soft gradients of orange, blending with subtle blues to capture the magical transition from night to day. This was one of the trickiest parts, getting the perfect blend between these two contrasting tones. To achieve this, I kept adjusting the mix of yellow, orange and white, layering back and forth until the transition felt seamless. As I moved on to the mountains, I realized something. I had forgotten to leave space below the horizon. Until that moment, I was really happy with how it was turning out. But now I had to add another layer in between, and I was really afraid I had messed everything up. But here's the thing about painting, you can always make things right. So I carefully adjusted the tones and shapes, and after some effort, I finally made it work. Then I refined the mountains, making sure they had the right depth and contrast. Since the foreground was going to be almost silhouetted, I needed the mountains to be a bit lighter. I mixed a touch of blue and black to create a softer, hazy effect that gave the landscape a sense of depth. Once the sky was done, I moved on to the foreground. And in the whole painting, my trekking sticks play such a key role. So I wanted to ensure they stood out but also blended naturally in the landscape. They rested on a pile of stones, covered in a delicate layer of frozen dew. The same frost that had turned the trail into both a breathtaking and slippery challenge. I wanted to capture that feeling. So I started with a base of grey, then layered in slightly darker tones to create the depth. Next, I carefully added strokes to define the individual stones, making sure they did not blend into each other. The final and most delicate part was painting the frost. Using a mix of lighter grey and white, I added thin but crisp strokes that mimicked the way the frozen dew clung to the rocks, almost like stiff white grass. So here I am using my white gel pen to create that feeling of stiffness. At this point, I wanted you to truly feel what I felt in that moment. The biting cold, the quiet beauty, and the way the frost shimmered in the morning light. To bring you even closer, I have included a picture I took during the trek. One where my hand reaches out to touch those very same frozen dews, captured in intricate detail. It's moments like this that make a journey unforgettable. And for the final part, painting the trekking sticks, my loyal companions throughout the journey, they needed to stand out while still feeling like a natural part of the landscape, so I painted them in darker tones to create contrast and depth, making them stand out as the focal point. This little detail was very important because it tells a part of the story. How every step required care, how the sticks weren't just props but an essential part of the adventure.
I wish that I could cough out my emotions in a healthy manner.
I added subtle highlights at the end to give them dimension, making sure they looked worn and well used, just like they did in real life. And the final element was the morning star. It's such a small detail, but its significance is huge. It represents the lingering beauty of the night, the quiet resilience of things that refuse to fade too soon.
The stations that I throw on, but I wish there was a song
And with this, the painting is now complete.
title.
Looking at it, I can feel the moment all over again.
Was a
The
song
exhaustion, the cold, the exhilaration, and above all, the
title.
beauty of the nature, welcoming a new day. Let me know in the comments if you have ever experienced a sunrise like this, or if you have been on a trek that left a lasting impression on you. And thank you so much for watching. See you in the next art adventure. Bye!
To embrace